Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are going to learn about the history of money. In this history of money, you are going to learn about how the money evolved and how the people started using money in exchange for some products or for something, and how it actually involved. And today, in this current century, how it transformed into banknotes and digital currencies. Let's start the video. What purpose does this money serves to this society? Actually, you know that in order to grow our economy, we actually need money. We can't do like in back so many years ago in 15th, 16th century. There were people who usually used to use the barter system in order to exchange some foods or products. So in that case, there were in those eras, actually the monies were actually not invented. So people actually used to exchange different products in order to get the other products. But in current generation, you can't use the barter system and all. So for this, and in order to grow the economy and to strengthen it, you actually need a different object or some physical things with which the society will have trust with that object, and that could help them in trading those object in order to get something. So basically, the money in today's generations are actually used to strengthen the economy, to grow uh, the different businesses what people usually do, to grow the society, to grow the infrastructure of the country. So money plays a very important role in our life and in our country. So let's move on to how the money involved and how practically it was used in those eras. So in this slide, you can see the barter system. So what was actually a barter system, and what people usually used to do in this system? In this generation, you would have seen that no barter systems are actually used to get some products or to get something. Usually, the banknotes, and other digital currencies have taken place for such systems which were used in 15th, 16th century many years ago. So you can see that these methods were actually used 1 lakh years ago. Yeah, because in barter system, usually what people usually used to do were like wherever they had something in their possession, like one people had few grains with them, and he wants some other products or other food. So for that, he would be exchanging that grains with the other person to get the other product what that other person has possessed. So the barter system actually usually what was that two people used to exchange different products in order to get different products what they didn't have with them. So this was actually barter system. But after a few years, the barter system were actually stopped because the people usually didn't used to remember the transactions what they did in those time. So after some years, in the few when the barter system actually used, the people started stopping it, and they actually went to use the coins. And with that, they actually evolved. And this was also the emergence. So, in the gift economy, why these people were actually involved in the gift economy were because, see, in case of barter system, usually what people used to do were that they usually used to trade different things which has some value, and they would receive the same thing of that value. But in this gift economy, what happens that the people usually used to give whatever the items are, if those are valuable or not, but they will trade them without having any explicit agreement with the people whom they are giving those those things. Actually, this gift economy was based on the relationship what people were sharing with each other. Suppose they didn't in this, as you know, that there was an explicit agreement that while giving any kind of thing to the other person, there was no agreement that that I have already that I have given already something that which has some value and my work is over. There was no such things were happen, as it is a gift economy. The people were giving them as a gift, and they were waiting that that in future, like they will in return, they may help them, or they may provide them with other kind of products or other kind of things. It was like that in case of barter system. They usually used to exchange different products. In this gift economy, that doesn't happen. Usually people expect something else. They may help the other people in different works, or provide different things in future, or even in present also. So suppose let's take two persons were involved in a trade. So the first person gave the other person like a sweater. So but in return for that, the first person will expect something else from him. Like in future, if he suppose goes into election and he wants some voters in order to win the election. So he would be expecting that gift from him of the thing which he traded, like for the sweater he traded. He will be expecting from the other person that in future he will be voting for him. So this was like a gift economy, that there was trust, and also it was also building the relationship of two peoples among them. See, in case of goldsmith bankers, first there were the people who were known as scriveners. Actually, these people used to keep the deposits of the people in the form of writings, and they usually give them back to the people. And the people who had deposited the amount of money to the scriveners, they actually used to store it in the vaults. But back in those time, they were usually not relending them to the other peoples, and they were only storing those deposits which was coming from the people. And after few times later, it happened like that the king Charlie I actually seized the property, and the vault where the golds were actually stored, and which was actually known as a forced loan. And the people, but due to the failure of the scriveners in order to relend them those deposits to the other peoples in as in the form of loans, in the failure of that, then the people started keeping their deposits in the vaults possessed by the goldsmith, which was in London. So so that period only, the goldsmith were came to know, and on whatever vaults they were actually possessing at those period, they usually used to charge some fee in order to exchange uh, for the deposits. Whenever a person or some of the money lenders or the merchants, whoever they were keeping the deposits in their vault of the goldsmith, they usually used to charge some amount for keeping, or for giving the vaults in rent, in order to keep those money in that vault. So for that, the goldsmith usually used to charge, and this is how the goldsmith bankers started evolving. And they usually in the future, they started relending those money whatever they had the deposits available with them, by providing the promissory notes. So this is how the goldsmith bankers evolved, and it worked. So let's move on to the other slide. See, after the success of goldsmith banking system, where coins were actually used in means of trading different things at those period, then again after around 1600s, there was also introduction of the paper notes. So the first European banknotes were actually issued by the the person name called Stockholm's Banco. He was a predecessor of Sweden's central bank, Sveriges Riksbank in 1661. So actually, this was a time where people started using the bank notes, and they referred it as the bank notes, and it actually replaced the using of the copper plates or the gold coins, which were used during the goldsmith banking system. Even the coins are usually used till now, but the use of the notes currencies are getting the people were actually more liking it, and they were trading many things with the help of these paper notes, and they could carry it more easily as they can't carry the coins with them. So basically it gave a boost to the economy, as well as the people um were actually getting more helpful with these banknotes. So during the 1990 and after the 1990s, even till now, the people are using the electronic way of or the electronic form of transferring money between the other peoples. So this also gave a boost to the economy, and also with the advancement and the adaptation of the online way of transferring money. It made people to have a smooth and flexible way of transferring or exchanging money with the other parties, and this also increased the trade worldwide. Basically, this will obviously help the boosting of trade online and online in the online market as well. So this was very helpful, where the digital currencies were also taken place with the printed currency across the world, and this is how the money actually evolved from the barter system to these digital currencies, as well as the printed currencies. So actually, in this slide, you know about the cryptocurrencies. These are actually the digital currencies which doesn't have any third party. Like in case of our banking system, we actually have a central banks or central authority who usually, in order to make the transaction secure, they usually uh, provide secure connection between the two parties. But in case of the cryptocurrencies, that is a different thing. In these cryptocurrencies, you will find that there is a blockchain technology. Usually this is a means where the people usually transfer or trade different things in the form of peer-to-peer network. So there is no third party involved, and with the blockchain technology, the security get more secure, and the transactions are not hacked, or nobody can have the details of that transactions, um except the two parties who are involved in those transactions. So this is how the currencies were involved, from the barter system, from the gift economy, from the goldsmith banking system, then the banknotes, and of the cryptocurrencies. That is the digital currencies. Now people are more often using it. So this was the history of money, how the money evolved, and how it were used in those different phases. So you can see that there is the different phase of the different currencies which were used. And I hope you would have liked the video, and thank you.